right, folks, welcome to the Carlos Digital Show, Trailer Aftermath Edition. Yes, folks, it happened. We have seen trailer number one for Zack Snyder's Justice League, and it was glorious. Amazing. Lots to talk about. We'll discuss a little bit about the trailer, about perhaps some thoughts I have on the trailer, where things could go, the surprises the trailer brought along, the kind of reactions we saw online. Talk about the numbers a little bit too, how things basically worked out for the trailer, where HBO Max stands right now, and the overall reception to the article. The trailer came out a little bit earlier than it should have. There was a countdown, but there was also an apparent leak. The leak itself apparently was from a Russian source. I don't know. Bit of a Russian joke going around in terms of the fans being Russian bots. So to my fellow comrades, we did it. Um, yes, so the trailer had to be dropped a bit earlier. It appears that there was a leak, exactly like the fandom leak, where the trailer just magically appears online. Obviously, very odd and very suspicious as to why this happens. There is talk about potential sabotage from parties not interested in film succeeding. Be interesting to look into that. But anyways, the trailer came out a little bit earlier than it should have. The trailer itself is quite fantastic. It's about 2 minutes and 26 seconds. And the trailer is step by step. It just brings you a Zack Snyder film with all the bells and whistles. You can see in the epic scale and in the dramatic take of the score that we are going to go on a joyride, on an adventure that is a continuation of the things that we had seen before. So it's very clear and very in your face that number one, this is continuation to the previous Zack Snyder film. So forget about 2017, like I've been saying before. And in addition, it tells you that this is also a new movie. This is something that will have things that you don't expect. So even if you think you know what's going on, even if you think you have figured everything out, it's not going to be exactly the same. Now, this film to me is very, very interesting in how we are going to watch this film. It's almost as if we have been told a lot of things that we think are key things, and we have seen a lot of production art and pictures. Some of them in black and white, some in color. And if you add to the trailers and to a lot of the stills that Zack Snyder has released, we are going to maybe not be surprised with some things, but we are going even more excited to experience them. So this is a bit different than with some films where you just don't know what's going to happen, you don't know what to expect, and then boom. In this one, you know some things already, and you're going there to experience them, and you're looking forward to, have a little bit of taste of what it's actually like in the film. So that's very interesting, and I think that sets a really good expectation for the fans. But there's also a lot of things we clearly don't know in what detail they are. Some fans are very hardcore and they'll know the specific details. For the most part, most people don't know what's happening. So this trailer basically starts with your Max original logo. So HBO Max making it very, very clear this is our trailer. The trailer was released when it came out. It first came out through Zack Snyder's Twitter account, and then the Justice League, Zack Snyder's Justice League account posted it as well, and then the HBO Max YouTube channel way later on brought a high quality version of the trailer. But the first trailer, as it came out with a message by Zack Snyder, and then the trailer comes out. The message was very nice, cool to see Zack, and give everyone a little bit of a hello, guys. Here's what's coming. He says something very interesting. He says that this is the first trailer, the first official trailer. So to mention that means there's a second trailer coming at some point. So very, very interesting. But yes, so it's very clear when the trailer starts, Max original logo in the same font that the Justice League films are is taking, in the promotional material, which is in a way similar to the BVS and Man of Steel font and lettering, except that here it looks a little bit put through in an effect that makes it look like all the posters where the whole decomposed, not really decomposed, but broken apart, and and destroyed theme that the film seems to have. It's part of this. So HBO Max comes out and says, guys, this is a Max original. We are the only ones that are bringing this out to you. So I will be talking about HBO Max quite a bit moving forward. I am a big fan of HBO Max. I am a big fan of what they do, the fact that they brought the film forward, and the fact that they are reaping great benefit from having done that. And I think we have seen that. So, anyways, the trailer starts, and you see the image of Superman in pain and agony, yelling, and you can see the sort of the graphical representation of the sound waves of his scream, making it out into the distance. So this is a still Zack Snyder. It was an unfinished shot, I believe. Yes, I believe it was not finished. And you can see that perhaps this is how the film starts, or it has something to do with the beginning, because this is where Superman essentially his cry, in agony, makes it through the world and awakens the mother boxes that are on planet Earth. So we see this thing propagating across Metropolis in Gotham City, and then we see something that could be, I'm not really sure what it is. It could be Atlantis, it could be something else, but there is a sort of shadowy sky, very dark, that is not Metropolis, and it's daylight, so it's obviously not the same time, but it's somewhere else in the world that this is reaching. And then we go to Themyscira when we see Queen Hippolyta and the area where the mother box is being kept, being going in complete destruction. Then you see your Warner Brothers logo, your DC logo. I mean, even though it does have the Warner Brothers logo, this does not feel like a Warner Brothers production or film, simply because they are not all that involved or willing to truly be part of the effort to promote this film. So not a good look on them, but their logo is indeed as part of the trailer. Um, we see Batman I assume it's one of the new photography shots in the nightmare scene. We see again the nightmare time frame where you see the apocalyptic ships with the fire pits, creating the fire pits, and a very bright sun. Everything is very yellowish, very reminiscent of Batman's own premonition. This is looking quite amazing. I am in awe of this. We see Wonder Woman and the classical discovery of Darkseid and the invasion happening, where we saw the very first clip of this film many months ago, where Diana is shivering in concern for what's coming. Very, very cool stuff. We also see, obviously, the original picture of Darkseid in the hieroglyphic type of imagery where we saw this. I mean, for myself, this is one of the very first things that I saw that made it clear that the film existed. So that the fact that this is involved in the trailer is a bit special to me, because this is, in a way, something that kept a lot of us going in knowing that the film was coming. So, anyways, we also see same shot from the teaser trailers. Darkseid walking down a ramp, sunlight coming in, and you can see the apocalyptic ship with the fire pits at the very end. Granny Goodness is there. The Sod is in there. It's quite a cool and epic shot. Obviously, Darkseid again with Granny Goodness, front shot, classic and epic. I don't think I'm ever gonna forget that image. Then we move into something that many people have asked me about. It's the shot where Steppenwolf is kneeling and removing his armor. A lot of people ask, who is this person? It doesn't look like it's Steppenwolf. Is it Desaad, or what is it? I think it could be simply a priest. There were some designs for apocalyptic priests that we saw before. Could be something like that. Um, Steppenwolf looking pretty sharp as always with his battle axe. With his there's something interesting. This is a theory I have, not necessarily a theory, but kind of an impression. It's clear that Steppenwolf has a particular type of armor, and he's sort of an alien being underneath the armor. This armor sort of has spikes, but he also has a weapon. He has an axe, a battle axe, and this battle axe is like a lightning based axe, and it creates sort of lightning like energy, like yellow energy. Traditionally, we know that Flash in the comics, obviously, the Speed Force energy is yellow. It appears to be blue in here. But I'm wondering if this has something to do with that. If Flash eventually, once he takes full control of his Speed Force powers, this will transition into something else. Is it related to this, to apocalyptic technology? I don't know, but I thought it was kind of interesting to see that. The scene with the Amazons, obviously very brutal. A lot of action, and a lot to look forward to, because clearly the scene that we saw before is not. This is different. This is a little bit more rugged and more violent. So look forward to that. We see again shots from before in the Atlantis battle. We see a shot of Cyborg. Doesn't seem to be complete, but it seems to me more like they are trying to keep the nightmare sequence a bit more mysterious, and that is not the look that he's going to have in the film, in the the nightmare sequence. We see also the very beautiful car sequence with the Batmobile with the different uh, color improvements or changes. It looks quite sharp. I think this shot where the Batmobile is like sort of tipping to the side, I think this is a new shot. I'm not 100% sure. We'll have to take a look, because I think this is different. I think they chose something else from the dailies or from a different sequence that was filmed. I'm not 100% sure, but looks actually amazing. Some more Steppenwolf action. A very very badass line from Alfred about, if you can't bring the bull down, the charging bull, don't don't wave the red cape at it. I thought it was really cool. Obviously, Chris Terrio line, very thoughtful and very sharp in how it's approached. Obviously, always nice to see um, Amy Adams. Very looking forward to how they deal with Jonathan Kent in this film. You see the sequence where Superman's body is being put into the, I don't know what you call that, the water in the Kryptonian ship, and then you see the Jonathan Kent, the picture that falls of him and young Clark Kent, which I believe Martha puts in the casket during the funeral, and then you see the narration from Jonathan Kent talking about Superman's purpose in life. What, even if it takes you the rest of your life, you owe it to yourself to find out what your place in this world is. So gives you this idea that yes, this movie is basically the DC universe is all about Superman being the center that inspires everyone to take action to save everyone else. Um, Also curious as to whether we will see Kevin Costner in this film again. I hope so. I think that this movie, in a big way, is inspired a lot by a lot of comic books and Dan Jurgens' run and that era of the death of Superman, the return of Superman. That's there. So my guess is that maybe we will see a part of a ethereal sequence where Clark once again talks to Jonathan Kent. Clark spoke to Jonathan when he reached the what we call the Fortress of Solitude in BVS, and they had a brief conversation. I would love if we get to see Jonathan be a part again, sort of a fatherly figure that accompanies Clark into becoming the Superman that he's going to become. I would love to see that, and I'm hoping that we can see something like that. The fact that he's part of the trailer is obviously very interesting, because he's a part of the story, and I think we'll see him. So I look forward to that. Continue seeing Uh, Shots of Ray Fisher, a new shot we haven't seen, Aquaman, Flash, and Iris West, who's obviously still at the Iris West. We're looking interesting to see if she is the Iris of the Flash movie that Warner Brothers putting together. We see again the Superman First Flight 2.0 sequence where he is reborn, wears the black suit, which I have to remind everyone looks amazing. And you see the sort of the effects that are reminiscing the First Flight from Man of Steel, which is an epic moment. You see also Cyborg going on his parallel first flight. I have this idea that this film is going to have, for many different reasons, this film is going to show all the different members of the League embodying Superman's life in one way or another. We'll see. It's just an impression that I have. I saw some old pictures of Aquaman where he is standing, reflecting on something, but it looks very much like the scene in Man of Steel where Clark makes it out of the water and just takes some clothes and takes off, something like that. And then now you have Cyborg here, and in the trailer, in a parallel with Superman's first flight. Very cool, and I think this is going to be a theme throughout the movie where the Justice League is inspired or represents Clark's life in some way or another, in their own actions and in the way that they behave. So Superman inspires everyone, consciously and subconsciously, and he is a symbol for which many of the Leaguers carry on their lives. So this is gonna be cool. Go back to Themyscira, a couple more shots. Obviously, the Dark Knight Returns tank in this thing, beautiful. We see it shorter than we did for a short amount of time that we did in the trailer, or in the teaser trailers, but still pretty cool. Really great to see the scene. I look forward to really seeing the scene again, or even a more dramatic version of the scene without so much like jokiness around it, where Barry Allen is facing his father in jail, and they sort of put their hands together in the glass. I thought that was really cool. Really look forward to seeing that. We see what I call the symbol of the fans in the trailer. The next scene where Cyborg is holding the mother box and he has this sort of premonition, and there's like a close-up, zoom-up shot to his face, and then the Flash is sort of kind of coming in his mind. I don't know exactly what's happening, but it looks really cool. It looks like a comic book a panel, which is really really awesome. Couple of shots we've seen before, more detail in the Flash running towards the blue Big Bang in reverse explosion kind of thing. I don't know what's happening there. Would love to find out what it is, but I guess we'll have to wait for the film. And then we see the Amazons. We see a couple more updated shots of Batman swinging in the air. Uh, Barrel roll, the Superman, shot with his laser eyes. So all wonderful. I've talked about the previous episodes about that. We go back to the Age of Heroes discussion where Bruce Wayne establishes that the Age of Heroes has to happen again. And then we go into the title, Zack Snyder's Justice League Max Original, with the Justice League logo in the back. Beautiful, wonderful. It's such an impactful message, really, about HBO Max being at the front and center of this, saying we're behind this. Really cool. And then before you know it, before you think that there's more to it, or what you're thinking, like, okay, is it over? You hear this voice and it says, we live in a society. If you've known anything about this meme, you know that people were gonna go crazy for this, because in Reddit and in the internet you have this "we live in a society" meme that's been going on for a long time, related to the Joker, and a lot of people signed a petition to have the Joaquin Phoenix Joker say "we live in a society." So it's been like this sort of abstract meme that's been going on for a very long time on the internet. But here, Zack Snyder gave it to people. If it happened, so people on Reddit had to have gone crazy for this. I assume they did, but I even heard it. I mean, and it was the first thing I thought about. Was like, we live in a society, so it's the Joker that's coming. So whomever thought about doing that, very well done, because you got a lot of discussion out of this. So that's really cool. So we go into what seems to be again the apocalypse, or sorry, the keep saying that the nightmare sequence, we go into a shot of what is the Joker sitting wearing a SWAT vest. For those who don't know, Zack Snyder and David Ayer, they're friends, obviously, and they've worked together, and their careers have been closely linked to each other, different periods and times in time. But where in their humble beginnings, they were trying to put together a SWAT film that became, a PG-13 type film, very family friendly or fun type of film. That was not exactly what Zack Snyder and David Ayer were going for. David Ayer, I believe, was scripting the movie, and Zack was going to direct it. It didn't happen, and then David Ayer puts together the Joker in Suicide Squad, and then once Zack explains to everyone that this film is um, using the Joker from Suicide Squad, and he says, you created a great character here. This seems to me also, again, one of those really cool friendship and collaborative things that Zack Snyder tends to do by showing respect to others. And I think this is a bit of a wink for the fans and for in between them as a hey man, this is cool. I'm using your guy here. I am basically giving you props because you did a good job creating a really cool take on the character here. So here we are. So really, really nice. And then you obviously see Ben Affleck. This is my opinion. This had to have been part of the reshoots that they did. And you see at the same time a shot of what seems to be Cyborg in the back wearing a sweater or something. I'm not sure exactly what that's all about, but it seems to be the nightmare scene because of the sunlight that you see. And what the Joker says is it's really cool. He says, "We live in a society where honor is a distant memory, where," and then he says, "Isn't that right, Batman?" And then you can see him, and I thought it was really cool. Kind of, he's trying to pick on Batman there a little bit, reminding him that you've crossed the line, you've changed your ways to adjust to this timeline. We all have, but he's sort of saying, maybe we're gonna work together, but it's not just me that's going to change, but you have changed yourself as well. So the psychological, mind battle between the Joker and Batman could be a thing. We know that Zack Snyder said that the Joker is going to play like the Ghost of Christmas Future type of thing in relation to Batman. So I look forward to this, and this was an amazing way to end the trailer. I think the fact that we're essentially looking at um, Jared Leto's Joker as the closing shot, and the fact that this is also a warning shot telling you this is different and this could go somewhere. You're gonna be asking for more of this at the end. It just sort of opening up this world of possibilities. Oh yeah, the Joker's in this, and him and Batman, are gonna go at it. This just leaves you thinking or wondering of, where is this going to go? Where could this go? So very very cool stuff and got lots of attention. The trailer was quite cool. The music was perfect. Obviously, it was very epic from beginning to end, and it got a lot of attention. The Joker surprise obviously got a lot of attention. There was a lot of memes and a lot of fun being had around the trailer, which is key here. I'm starting to notice that that in Netflix, certain films have done quite well. I think it was the name of the film, the one with Sandra Bullock, Bird Box, I think it was. That was a meme movie basically, and it got a lot of attention and a lot of views because of that. So I think in some way we had some fun here as well with the memes. Lots of funny stuff happening, especially around this final scene of the trailer. So that was cool because that generates more discussion, generates more traffic, generates more attention. So that's part's really really awesome. Obviously a lot of work being done in other platforms like TikTok. I'm mostly on Twitter, but Instagram and TikTok, apparently there was a lot of interaction, so the people are working on that for the fan community. Thank you guys, you do a great job. So you're really helping and doing a lot of good work. Like I mentioned before, very interesting how there's expectations of a second trailer. I think the second trailer will be maybe action-based trailer, even though there was like a ton of action in this one. So I don't know. We'll see when it comes out. I assume probably this is a different marketing strategy. I don't know exactly what's gonna happen. Is the next trailer gonna be released only a few days before the release? Probably would make sense. How are they going to organize it? A lot of people came out eventually. Henry, Ben Affleck, Gal, Jason Momoa, Ray Fisher, Ray Porter, a bunch of people basically came out to be part of the marketing strategy, but in a very sort of mild way. Just a retweet, not really a lot of comments. So I think that the next round they're going to be part of it, and they're going to hopefully jump in and acknowledge this. Maybe have a message to the fans. Anything that can help is going to be great, and I personally think that they owe it to SAC. They owe it to the fans. I know basically it's work that's already done, and they're probably working on other things at the moment. But I think it would be a really nice moment, just like Henry did when the release of the Snyder Cut or the announcement came out. I would really like though for those guys to come out and just sort of support one last time the release of this film. So very cool stuff. Obviously, a lot of good reactions. I think something that I've it's kind of really cool about this whole thing is that it seems to me like the sort of mindset regarding Zack Snyder has radically changed into a positive one. The support that HBO Max has given Zack has taken things in another direction and saying, okay, we're with this guy, and then at the same time, some other people were always silent. They're saying, yeah, I'm with this guy. This guy's cool. A lot of people who would otherwise typically be very negative and that would always say, "Oh, forget about the SAC universe continuing. That's not going to happen. Just forget it. Studios and like this, blah blah blah." Things have changed, and now that SAC has big support from a party and an entity inside this whole thing, then other people feel comfortable with saying, "Yes, yes, yes. This is I want to see it. This is what people want to see." And you saw lots of people who were, I don't want to name names, but a lot of people that are typically haters, um, not being so much stem around, talking about looking forward to watching the film, talking about enjoying what they're seeing, and saying that the trailer is epic. And I think we have changed things in a way. I have many acquaintances that are not typically really into this that are saying, "Well, I'm going to get HBO Max to watch this because this looks cool, or there's attention, or there's a lot of positivity around it." So positivity has been a key factor for us here, and you see it in a lot of people that came out, and even some famous people. One of the ones that I loved the most was Michelle Rodriguez from Fast and Furious films and Resident Evil, and tons and tons of other films. Like obviously someone very well established in Hollywood, and she came out and she said, my kind of Valentine. This looks juicy. Love it when the studio execs gave carte blanche to a talented director who's already proven his worth. Can't wait to see this. Amazing. I love that. I mean, it just shows a very human side to Michelle to come out and say, look, Zack has proven himself. Zack is a name, and I am happy that they're letting him do his thing. I look forward to it. Zack, if you're listening to this, give her a call because I would love to see her in some sort of role. Kevin Smith also came out and he said, I saw a new trailer this morning, at which point I realized that we live in a society where Ben came back for the Snyder Cut reshoots. Can't wait to blaze for 4 hours while watching this epic on HBO Max. We're going to get to see Darkseid, Granny Goodness, and the Bat Tank. Very cool, positive energy. This guy, he's like a comic book guy, and obviously he may have his preferences for what he wants to see clearly, and you can see it in his like more recent films. But this guy's behind this thing, and Ben is his friend, and I think he's one of the guys that has been most vocal and that has the most reach, that has been really for this. So thank you to both Michelle, Kevin Smith. Other people have spoken out as well, but these two were the ones that caught my attention the most because they were so honest in their appreciation for the whole thing. So I look forward to watching this with you guys, and I hope you guys really like and really enjoy it. But the truth is that this whole thing was an overwhelming success for SAC and for HBO Max. The numbers are massive. As of right now, the Snyder Cut trailer that is only on the HBO Max account is over 13 million views. So we're talking about a ton of people watching this and watching it over and over. The exposure is here. It's been well over 24 hours, and this film's still number one or number two in the trending section on YouTube. This is big, and the numbers that Zack Snyder and other people have essentially reached, they're quite massive themselves in their posts. The Zack Snyder Justice League post is at 7.3 million users. There is there is quite a bit of interest for this. Let's see, the Zack Snyder one is at 2.3 million views. Other people also posted it. Connie Nielsen posted hers. Jason Momoa, I believe, posted his own version of the trailer in Instagram. This thing got a lot of traction and a lot of interest. The What's on HBO Max account says that the Snyder Cut trailer has become the second most viewed WB trailer ever in the first 24 hours, with 24.9 million across all official accounts on social media. So this got a lot of attention. This worked. I have my reservations about this comment because I think this was a bigger event than something like Godzilla versus Kong or anything that had that sort of strong support from Warner Brothers directly. Now remember, Warner Brothers did not really do very much to support this. As a matter of fact, they released a teaser of some sort for Godzilla versus Kong, which is kind of drowned and no one really paid too much attention to it because of the moment of the event. I think that if you really think about it, the significance of reaching these numbers when you combine, IGN, the cast numbers, the account numbers, the HBO Max account, we're talking big numbers, big numbers. A lot of people saw this. Why do I say that this is something to celebrate and something um, to think of as a matter of success? HBO Max right now is looking at, like I mentioned before, almost 13.5 million views uh, in about a day and a half, essentially. But you have to keep in mind one thing. HBO Max, their account and the reach of their account, and 30 million is where most of the views are right now, is an account that essentially is looking at potentially, let's see, 533,000 subscribers. Let's look at the Warner Brothers account, just the account there, the YouTube account alone. 9.8 million subscribers. So wide difference in reach for these two accounts. Now, if we look at the on Twitter, for example, HBO Max has about 300,000 subscribers versus Warner Brothers multiple accounts like Warner Brothers Pictures, WB Picture account, which is at WB Pictures, $4.8 million. Sorry, 4.8 million users or subscribers. And the Warner Brothers account itself is 2.2 million subscribers. So the reach of these accounts versus the reach of the accounts that we were working with online is not close at all. And we did very good numbers, or like some of the best numbers that those brands have ever seen. So it's something to think about. Yes, WB at some point, I don't know if it was last night or this morning, they did retweet the HBO Max post out of basically peer pressure, I suppose, because they looked absolutely horrible out there, not being basically very helpful to any of this. But think about it this way. You have these accounts that are massive that did not really want to help and they were out of it, and you have some smaller accounts, still large, but smaller in comparison, doing gigantic numbers. So something did happen here. The narrative that nobody wants is that there's no interest for this. That's gone out the window. Lots of people want this, obviously. And after the exposure that this got, you better believe that this is going somewhere. They cannot basically just say nobody wants this, nobody's interested. That died yesterday. That basically is not the case anymore. There's clear interest. Um, there's a clear trend of obtaining something here for the user. So I am very happy for HBO Max. I think Jason Killard a couple days ago came out and said it's going to be interesting how fans are going to react to this. And he kind of called out the fans. He said, it's going to be interesting. I said it's all hands on deck. Everyone come out and let's party. And it worked. A lot of people saw the trailer. A lot of people talked about it. I got messages from different people. I'm trying to help as much as I can to create awareness about the film coming and the fact that you have to subscribe to HBO Max or whatever your local distributor is. And it's if nobody knew about it, as apparently some people are saying, well, certainly everyone knows about it now. especially with that ending of the trailer. So a lot of discussion, a lot of exposition. This was a very, very powerful shot in the arm for the franchise, for the Snyderverse, for this film, but also for HBO Max. I think HBO Max is just basically getting started. They're just putting their feet on the ground, and the Snyder Cut just gave them the boost that they needed. And I think in time they're just gonna keep growing and growing, and things are gonna be looking better. I do think myself that at the end of the day, you are going to see essentially something something very powerful in terms of HBO Max as a brand. Jason Clare at some point said, once you start getting the subscribers, the budgets for the films are going to be maybe even larger than you're seeing for Hollywood productions because the money is there to create that. So I think the Snyderverse is going to continue on HBO Max. It's going to be HBO Max exclusive with theatrical windows, which is sort of what we all kind of want. A lot of us don't want too much to do with Warner Bros. At this point. We disapprove of their behavior, their corporate values, their approach, and their sort of what appears to be lack of common decency, which has sort of been constant over the past couple of years. We're all perfectly happy with HBO Max being the platform of choice. We like those guys. I think they've been really cool. They've acknowledged us as fans. In the past, it felt like we were just sort of yelling, and screaming onto a wall, and we were sort of seen as an obstacle as opposed to the subject matter experts that can help market the film. So HBO Max is very competent, very intelligent in what they're doing, and I just can't see them turning their back on Zack Snyder and the Snyderverse as a content that fits this platform perfectly. So I think this is going to keep going. I hope they announce a sequel at some point, maybe after the release or during the release, to give the views a little bit of a boost. But I just don't see anyone in their right mind after what we saw yesterday act like this is a cul-de-sac. Like there's just no way. So whatever narrative's been coming from WB, it's dying, and it's not making them look too good. So when you compare the numbers of what was achieved with the accounts that were done versus what could have been with some with the bigger accounts, I mean, you're talking about real interest. Like this really proves to you that you didn't need those big accounts to reach a high level of interest to trend number one in YouTube for like almost an entire day, to have the Twitter hashtags trending the entire day. It's not simple. We did it with lesser resources, and we got basically a record beating event. So good job by everyone. That's totally we killed it here. So I think the impact of this trailer is something obviously of great importance. I think it did make some noise. Why do I say that? CNN essentially made an article about this, and they said how the trailer is very, very important for HBO Max. So it's people in the business world that have noticed that there is something to look at here. That HBO Max is essentially saying we need this as much as you need this. We also need this. So we have found a sort of common interest in how to proceed with this. So to me, it's the fact that you have big names talking about this, the fact that you have big outlets talking about no longer talking about this is like a mystery film, and this is um something that perhaps is like one shot. It's not like that anymore. And like I told you, the HBO Max article on CNN, it just basically says that the company is very, very interested in the film. In the trailer is part of the marketing for the service. So you see this sort of a symbiotic relationship between one and the other, where you are essentially um, you are promoting one, but you're also promoting the other, and the same thing's going to happen. Box office is not a thing here. It's more like what's the best way to say it? it's more along the ways of if you have these properties and you have the cash coming in, and in their statistics, you're looking at a lot of interest behind a particular title where like the numbers are like really high, and you keep giving them more, then they're going to stay with the service. So this trailer helped as a promotion for Zack Snyder Justice League, but also helped as a promotion for HBO Max. If HBO Max makes its money or makes money, they're gonna have more money for the projects. They have no problem dropping $70 million here for Zack Snyder Justice League. I assume that they will have money for more and to continue. It's just perfect content for them. So very happy for them. I thought it was pretty cool that CNN Business did this article. So you guys should check it out. But it's HBO Max still has a long way to go in terms of obtaining subscribers to meet the numbers that, for example, Netflix has. But they do have the IPs, and this IP plays a big role. It's just a perfect combination, and you can rest assured that HBO Max is not going to do anything dumb at this point because they have shown to be nothing but competent and intelligent um, and wise in how they evaluate things. So all you have to do, guys, is just subscribe. Pay for the films, watch them over and over, enjoy them. So, and that's the main thing. If you enjoy what's coming and you really sit down, forget the haters, forget anyone's talking. Those guys, they're not that relevant at this point, and you can't really hear them, over like everyone being so excited about this. So, if you enjoy this and you consume it to your enjoyment, it's better for you because that means you gotta get more of it. And I have no doubt that Jason Kilar and company have big plans for Zack Snyder in the future. What happens with Warner Brothers, I'm not so sure. But we'll see. We'll see what comes next. Moving forward, I think that the film will come, and we may see more announcements. We may see special projects. We don't know what's happening, but I have no doubt that something is already in the works, and this film is already looking like a gigantic success for the future of Warner Media and AT&T in the form of HBO Max. So make sure you give them some good support. But I think essentially my reaction to this trailer is extremely positive. It's a lot of fun to watch. I've watched it many times myself. I've shown my wife, who also got excited by it. I've shown some friends, my parents, everyone that I know. I'm talking about this trailer, and they're all like very aware. So the objective for this, there is no doubt that was met. HBO Max gets its exposure. The cut is coming. We're excited about it. We made it. It's only about a month before we get to see this. So get ready. More announcements are coming. More things are coming. We know that Batman v Superman, the new edition, the remastered edition, is coming as well. That hasn't been fully announced, even though Zack's talked about it a little bit. So more's coming. There's an announcement coming. There's a strategy coming. Obviously HBO Max is advertising things. So we're starting to get to a different mode of advertisement and of a marketing strategy moving forward. But that's, we're in a new era. Things are different now, and expect things to be a little bit differently. But I expect also Zack Snyder Justice League to be a massive success because from what I saw yesterday, it already is. And that falls in line with what some directives or some executives from HBO Max have said in the past, that this film is already a success for them because it has gotten them the marketing exposure that they need to continue to obtain subscribers. So my guess is that Zack Snyder Justice League is going to give them a ton of subscribers in this coming month. So look forward to it. Very happy with the trailer. Look forward to the second trailer, but this was absolutely badass, and I enjoyed it quite a bit. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it too. Let me know what you guys think. And that being said, that's all I have for the show today. I'll catch you guys next time. Until then.